Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
While we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors. We're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we are fellow Americans. We must stand together.
That was just a snippet from a rare Oval Office presidential speech from Joe Biden just a few hours ago. The president taking to the airwaves to try and unite a country a day after his political opponent and former president Donald Trump was shot at a campaign rally just a day ago. Biden stressed we should take a step back as a country and take stock of what's going on. There is no need for violence in American politics and that we must move forward peacefully. It has been just a day since former President Trump was shot at his rally in Butler County, Pennsylvania. We're getting new details by the minute. And while so many questions remain unanswered, we are starting to learn more about the suspect, the victims, and what this means for the rest of election season. Let's start with the man who died in that shooting, Corey Comparator. The 50-year-old father of two was shot and killed in that rally yesterday, shielding his wife and daughter from the gunfire. These are a few pictures of him that his family shared online as a tribute. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says Comparator died a hero, and his actions will never be forgotten.
Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family.
Two other people also shot at the rally. Their names and ages are not yet confirmed, but we do know their medical status was downgraded to stable this evening. As Comparator's friends and family mourn their sudden loss, federal agents are trying to gather as much information as possible about the man who killed him and shot former President Trump. This is Thomas Crooks. The 20-year-old nursing home worker drove about an hour from his home to that rally in Butler County yesterday. He was armed with an AR-style rifle, and moments after he opened fire on the rally, Secret Service snipers shot and killed him. The FBI says this could be considered domestic terrorism, and they believe Crooks acted alone in his attempt. What you see now is a checkpoint that investigators have set up around Crooks' Pennsylvania home as they search for anything that could help them in their investigation. Investigators have been at the home since late last night. Earlier today, we also learned bomb-making materials were also in the car that he drove to that rally, and that he was a registered Republican with no criminal history. His family is cooperating with investigators as they try to make sense of this attack. But as it stands tonight, federal agents do not know what spurred Crooks to attempt to assassinate former President Donald Trump. And as the FBI continues their investigation on the ground in Pennsylvania, we got the chance to speak with a former agent that now lives here in San Antonio. The Night Team's Daniela Ibarra sat down with Fred Olivares, who told her it was a failure in presidential protection that led to the shooting.
What happened?
It's a scene replaying in Americans' minds. Former President Donald Trump's ear grazed by a bullet at his own rally.
When you saw that, what did you think?
I think, how could that have happened?
Fred Olivares is a retired FBI agent from San Antonio. He says in the seconds after the shooting, Secret Service agents did their jobs.
That was typical procedure. I mean, you have to protect, Donald Trump. That was your assignment. So those Secret Service agents, they pretty much put their line on jeopardy to protect Donald Trump.
But what led up to this is what Olivares calls unacceptable.
The Secret Service dropped the ball. It's a failure for that to happen. It is really a failure.
The FBI says 20-year-old Thomas Crooks fired several shots at the stage from, quote, an elevated position outside the rally venue.
It's unbelievable. You have a clear line of sight. In other words, a clear shot for 100 yards.
Do you think someone should be held accountable?
But somebody's supposed to cover that roof. Did somebody miss that? I mean, yes, somebody will be held accountable.
How does this change security protocols moving forward?
But that's a disturbing thing because the protocols are already in place. The protocols are there. Whether they were not adhered to, whether somebody ignored them, we don't know.
Now, that's something the FBI says it will continue to investigate. Olivares told us he believes this investigation could take years. He says he believes the primary focus now is to learn from this to make sure it doesn't happen again. Courtney?
Yeah, Daniela, thank you, considering we are months away from a presidential election. Now, reaction also trickling out from both ends of the political aisle a day after this shooting. Governor Greg Abbott is in Houston to tour the damage and update Texans on the power problems post-Beryl, but also made sure to say his heart is with the victims of yesterday's tragic events. He echoed President Biden's sentiments by saying this kind of political violence is sad to see in America.
What happened yesterday is horrific. It's a sad day in America when we see an assassination attempt. Assassinations, to say the least, are unacceptable.
In the chaotic aftermath of this attempted assassination, delegates from all over the nation are now descending on Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the Republican National Convention. 2 delegates from California set aside some time today to talk with me about the general feeling among delegates there in Milwaukee and how safe they'll feel at this convention moving forward.
We were devastated. We were just, please get up, get up, get up. It was the longest 7-second wait that seemed forever.
Greg and Lane Lansing were on a plane to the GOP National Convention in Milwaukee, streaming the Pennsylvania rally live as a 20-year-old gunman tried to assassinate former President Donald Trump. Burned in their mind, this now iconic image.
When he made a point to show the people that he was alive and he was okay.
Relief for some of Trump's strongest supporters.
We've met with him many times.
This is the 3rd time since 2016 that Greg and Lane have been Republican delegates from California.
Sharing our ideas and thoughts that ultimately wind up getting to the president and helping form some of his policies.
An attempted assassination happens. The next day, you have to go back to these meetings as delegates. What does it feel like out there?
I think the feeling is
Determination, resilience, not giving up.
That positive outlook extending to safety.
We're safe. We're so secure. I know our children are calling and our friends, we're fine.
they want you, they search you, and before that, they even know who you are, they have your background.
They're now regaining focus, especially now that Trump reports he's okay and plans to make his appearance at the convention. What do you plan to say to him when you do visit with him?
Well, first we're going to tell him how grateful we are that he's alive.
Across the nation, regardless of political belief, there seems to be one blaring agreement.
Political violence needs to end.
And as Republicans now try to turn their attention to their party's national convention, we will broadcast the RNC live right here on KSAT this upcoming week. Coverage starts at 9 p.m. tomorrow through Thursday. You can tune in on air or on any of the KSAT streaming platforms. And of course, you can depend on KSAT to get you all of this latest information as more details continue to pour out of this major investigation. You can stay in the loop by scanning that QR code on your screen right now. And turning our attention now closer to the Texas coast, where around 350,000 people and businesses in Houston still do not have power. That's just a week after Beryl tore through the area. As we just mentioned, Governor Abbott and his team were on hand in Houston today to survey that damage. CenterPoint Energy under heavy scrutiny for the way they've handled this storm before and after it made landfall. And if you remember, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick was headed up hurricane prep in Texas leading up to Beryl's landfall. Here's his observation of how the entire situation was handled.
A freight train's coming. You just heard it. You better be prepared. Whether you're at the top or any part of management who oversaw this response or preparation, everybody's job should be on the line.
The Public Utility Commission of Texas will be required to investigate why power restoration is taking so long. And CenterPoint Energy has until the end of the month to tell the governor's office how it will limit power outages in the event of another storm.
Yep, crazy to think this time last week we were monitoring Beryl as it was approaching Category 1 hurricane status and then would go on to make landfall near Matagorda early Monday morning. This week, though, starting off on a much different and quieter note. Take a look at your Monday forecast for tomorrow. We're going to start off in the mid-70s with a few clouds. In the afternoon, though, plenty of sunshine taking over. High temperatures topping off in the mid to upper 90s as a result, feeling closer to the triple-digit mark when you factor in the humidity. High pressure is taking over, so compared to the past couple of afternoons, a drier weather pattern will be the theme, at least through Tuesday and into Wednesday. Again, highs still in that mid to upper 90-degree range, so hot for this time of year. Of course, that's what you would expect. Could we, though, find better rain chances by Thursday and into Friday? Yes, especially if we see a few changes in that weather pattern come to fruition. We'll get you a look at that setup coming up a little bit later on, Court.
Mia, see you soon. Well, San Antonio police officer assigned to protect Chief William McManus accused of exchanging sexually explicit text messages while on the job. The texts sent by Officer Mark Castillo were uncovered after officers responded to a possible disturbance between that woman and her husband at an East Side home.
A review of the messages by KSAT shows many of them were sent during Castillo's assigned work hours, Monday through Thursday, between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m., and while the officer was in close proximity to McManus. Castillo writing to Cisneros' wife at one point, expletive, wanted to touch her legs. After she replied, "You still can, I'm headed over there now," Castillo responded, "I'm still with Chief, but he might be done soon." Or this exchange, in which Castillo described a sex act with her, told her to make sure she erased the messages, and then revealed that McManus was about to walk out. SAPD officials refused to make Chief McManus available for an interview for this story, stating the complaint against Castillo is being investigated and that the department cannot comment on media inquiries that have not resulted in discipline.
Coming up in about 20 minutes, KSAT investigates the officer's actions and reveals that this is not the first time a member of the chief's security detail has been accused of inappropriate sexual behavior while in uniform. Still ahead on the Night Beat, the world of a San Antonio couple has been flipped upside down just 1 month before they're expecting the birth of a child. Their journey of adjustment on the other side of the break. A pregnant San Antonio couple has been preparing to welcome their baby into the world for 8 months now. But earlier this week, a devastating fire flipped their world upside down. The fire swept through their complex, and this family's apartment became a total loss. Zaria Oates shares the couple's journey as they move in with family just 1 month away from delivery day.
It's definitely angering and saddening at the same time.
The emotions walking alongside Sophia and Philip Pacheco are much different now than they were even a week ago. She tells me a grill on her neighbor's apartment patio started a fire. The flames then claimed multiple units at the complex, including hers. Thankfully, she wasn't home and no one was injured.
I'm so thankful that they're alive, that no one has been harmed, and I only wish them the best.
But she's now without a home at 8 months pregnant. Pacheco and her husband have moved in with his mother, Leona Lajas, in hopes of just a little bit of normalcy.
Yes, we lost everything, but look at all the support that we have, and it brings a peace, and that has helped us as a family feel peace.
Complete and total strangers just coming together and collecting diapers, any baby items help because we had 2 baby showers. We thought we were set. I was ready to just focus on giving birth, and then having to start all over again has been pretty stressful on my brain. Any donations, anything anybody can give, we are so appreciative of that.
Well, there are things that just can't be replaced.
Baby pictures, even of other loved ones that we've lost, were in there. My grandmother's Bible, that was the one thing I had left of her.
Pacheco's family is grateful for the support and to be alive.
I just want to thank San Antonio. I just want to thank everyone that's been involved.
Amid the chaos, Sophia and Philip are expecting to welcome a healthy baby boy in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, our son's name is Ezekiel.
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Gosh, what a strong couple. We're so glad San Antonio turns out for them like they do for everyone. But take some stress off of mom and let her focus on what's important.
I know, on top of having to deal with everything else, thoughts and prayers continue to go out with them, especially as she gets closer to delivery. All right, back here at home in South Central Texas, Courtney, it was a lot quieter out there this afternoon, especially on the radar compared to the past several days. Thankful that we saw some rain. It was spotty each and every day. It wasn't for everybody, but a lot of us remained dry throughout this Sunday. I do want to take a look back, though, at rainfall totals over the past 7 days. Helotes, northwestern Bexar County, saw some of the more impressive totals over the past week. About 2.5 inches recorded there. Up in Bernie, about 1.5 inches. Near an inch near Randolph Air Force Base, officially here in San Antonio. What will go down in the climatological books, about 0.92 is what we saw over at the airport. Now, right now on authority radar, we're quiet, but you can see we still do have some clouds streaming across the South Central Texas sky. It was pretty cloudy out there today. We saw a few breaks, though, earlier this evening. High temperatures were still contained to the upper 80s as a result. We'll definitely take it for this time of year. You can see we've got two different areas of high pressure, one off to our northwest, another one off to our east. By the way, this high pressure system over the Rockies still contributing to a heat wave way out west. Take a look at high temperatures today. It was 100 degrees in Salt Lake City, 106 in Las Vegas, 108 in Phoenix. Again, we were well below that here in San Antonio. Upper 80s was all we were able to climb up to earlier this afternoon. This high pressure system, though, is ultimately what's going to be in control of our weather pattern over the next 48 to 72 hours. So a drier start to the upcoming work week is expected as a result. But we could see a few changes start to work in, especially by the later half of the upcoming week. And that's all going to be thanks to this low pressure system moving across the Great Lakes region. By Wednesday, we start to see a touch more moisture work back in. So we'll introduce about a 20% chance for an isolated shower for the middle of the week's plans. But then that low pressure system looks to squeeze a weak front into parts of central Texas. And that could help spark some slightly better rain chances for our neck of the woods, specifically in that Thursday and Friday time frame. We'll call it about a 30% potential, with the chance that we could adjust those a little bit higher if it continues to look a little bit more promising. It is too early for exact rainfall totals, what we could see by the time all is said and done, but we will definitely still take anything that we can get. This was the latest drought monitor update. If you missed it, that was released last Thursday. It does not include any of the rain that we saw since Tuesday, but you can see here in San Antonio and much of Bexar County, we're still dealing with moderate drought and a few pockets of extreme drought still in place across portions of the hill country, and then out west near the Rio Grande for places like Del Rio as well as Brackettville. Uvalde still seeing some severe drought that stretches over to Medina Lake as well as the Hondo area. So we'll keep you posted on that. But if we do see those rain chances play out, some rain cooled air combined with the added cloud cover could hold temperatures down by a few degrees, closer to 90 than 100. So that's also something that we'll be looking forward to as well. Until then, this is what we're dealing with outside right now. 83 degrees here in town, 81 over in Floresville. It's 84 in Pleasanton. Upper 70s already, though, for places like Comfort as well as Kerrville. I think we're going to start off in the low to mid 70s first thing tomorrow morning with some cloud cover in place, but then we'll see plenty of sunshine take back over by lunchtime. A high temperature climbing into the mid to upper 90s by the time all is said and done, feeling closer to 100 degrees whenever you do factor in some of the humidity in place. So we'll call for 96 here in town, 96 as well over in Divine, 93 up in Bernie, 95 over in the Los Maples area. Still a few degrees hotter Tuesday and into Wednesday thanks to that high pressure system really tightening its grip on our weather pattern before we see some of those rain chances return to the forecast. Courtney, coming up in the second half hour, still a lot to talk about, specifically when it comes to Saharan dust, and also do we have anything in the tropics? Well, we'll get you those details coming up a little bit later on.
Hopefully it's a little further out. Right. We're still recovering in Texas. All right, thank you so much, Mia. And we'll see you on the other side of this break for a preview of what's on Instant Replay. From the 2024 NBA draft to free agency, it's been a busy offseason for the San Antonio Spurs. They're trying to find the right pieces to surround Victor Wembanyama. So for a preview of what's on Instant Replay, let's head to Larry. You gotta move the puzzle pieces around.
You do, and now Wemby is going to get to play with one of the best point guards ever. In fact, they call him the point god. NBA veterans Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes were introduced to the San Antonio media on Tuesday, coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
Well, I just hate to lose. You know, I always say this, I hate to lose more than I like to win.
I have the utmost respect for this franchise and everything that they've accomplished. The opportunity to play for Pop.
During their Q&A with the media, Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes made it clear they are excited to play for Pop and thrilled to play in the same lineup as Victor Wembanyama. Both guys want to win and help the Spurs get back to their championship ways. They'll share what else they hope to bring to the silver and black.
All of a sudden I see, like is that Tim? Is that Tim Duncan? Look at Steph Castle. I'm like, you see him? He's like, bro. I'm like, that's crazy, you know. Shook his hand, talked to him a little bit, you know, down-to-earth guy.
Bro, I love it. The Spurs have two Harrisons on the roster, and Harrison Barnes and rookie Harrison Ingram. The second-round draft pick is playing in the Summer League as he starts to learn the Spurs way. Before that, KSAT 12 Sports' Nick Mantis went one-on-one with Ingram, and we've got it for you.
If I can take precautions and lessening something by putting on a boot, I'm going to do it. And so sorry that it caused such a whirlwind.
Earlier this month, Dak Prescott was spotted in a walking boot while on vacation. Tuesday at his youth football camp, Dak addressed the boot and said it's really no big deal, that people are making more than what it really is. So Cowboys fans, how concerned are you that Dak had a walking boot on his right foot? A lot, a little, or not concerned at all? That's our poll question tonight. Vote now at ksat.com/sports/poll. All that and more tonight on Instant Replay.
He's a strong guy.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. Everyone likes to get a little dramatic.
Yeah, I love your optimism.
Thank you, Larry. I try. All right. Well, don't go anywhere. There is still a full 30 minutes of Nightbeat on the other side of the break. Coming up in a few minutes, a refresher of everything we know one day after former President Donald Trump was shot at his own campaign rally. Plus, for the second time in 3 years, a member of the San Antonio Police Chief Willie McManus' security detail is accused of inappropriate behavior while on the clock. KSAT investigates how the conduct came to light and the ripple effect it had on others. As investigators continue to search for a motive after a gunman tried to kill former President Trump, President Biden addressed the nation this evening from the Oval Office. Meanwhile, ABC's Jay O'Brien reports that former President Trump has arrived in Milwaukee ahead of this week's Republican National Convention.
My fellow Americans.
President Biden addressing the nation from the Oval Office just one day after a suspected gunman attempted to assassinate his rival, former President Donald Trump.
I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We must stand together.
The president calling for unity.
But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. The power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of would-be assassins.
Biden speaking with the former president Saturday evening, just hours after a gunman opened fire at a Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. That suspect identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel, Pennsylvania. Sources tell ABC News that a short time before the former president took to the podium, local authorities were alerted to suspicious activity on the outside of the perimeter and were in the process of looking for a suspect.
I am aware that law enforcement had responded to a number of reports of suspicious activity.
Investigators are now trying to figure out how that gunman made it up onto the roof as Republicans get set to gather for this week's convention in Milwaukee. Former President Trump arriving, preparing to formally accept his party's nomination. The convention going ahead as planned, but security at the Fiserv Forum is tight.
We are confident in these security plans that are in place for this event, and we're ready to go.
In a post on social media, former President Trump said he considered pushing this convention back 2 days, but then said he didn't want to have a potential assassin force a change of his campaign schedule. Now, security is tight here in Milwaukee, but the Secret Service says there is no credible threat to this convention. In Milwaukee, Jay O'Brien, ABC News.
And we will, of course, continue to get you the latest developments over the next several days. All right, back here at home outside with live cam. Yes, we still have a few clouds floating across the sky this Sunday night. Temperatures in the low 80s. Let's take a look at the almanac data for today. 78 was our official low temperature. Only 10 degrees higher than that for our high temperature. It was 88 degrees. That is 7 degrees below the average for this time of year of 95. We were thankfully nowhere near the record of 105 that was set back just 4 years ago in 2020. Looking ahead to the next several days, we're back up in the mid to upper 90s thanks to high pressure moving back in and, of course, more sunshine in the afternoons. But we could see those temperatures trend down a few degrees later this week, along with some rain chances. We'll get you another full look at that extended forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Yeah. Well, they took an oath to protect and serve, San Antonio's police chief specifically. But for the second time in 3 years, a member of William McManus' security detail is accused of inappropriate sexual behavior while in uniform. Records obtained by KSAT Investigate show Officer Mark Castillo exchanged explicit text messages with the woman, often while on the clock.
Anybody who's doing that on work hours is brazenly wasting our tax dollars. They're violating all kinds of rules that they shouldn't be allowed to violate.
Dylan Collier examines how the messages came to light and the personal destruction they've caused. A warning, some of the language you're about to hear is not appropriate for young viewers.
All the man did was destroy a marriage.
It took 1 month of text messages between his wife and a San Antonio police officer to cause untold devastation to Arturo Cisneros' 33-year marriage and possibly his freedom. How so? Well, in late May, Cisneros and his wife were at their East Side home when he picked up her phone to review some appraisal documents.
Her phone was just laying there. We share the same password, so I went ahead, opened it up.
It opened up to a text message thread between his wife and San Antonio police officer Mark Castillo, seen here in his LinkedIn profile. Cisneros says he knew the 23-year veteran of SAPD who works on Chief William McManus' executive protection detail from city council meetings and this north side Las Palapas, where Castillo would often go while McManus worked out at this nearby Gold's Gym. Cisneros had no idea that someone he considered an acquaintance was actually in a relationship with his wife, an affair that appeared to intensify in the days just before Cisneros found the texts.
I was in shock.
Cisneros says he locked himself in a bedroom to read all of the messages while his wife pounded on the door, demanding her phone back. According to SAPD records, Cisneros later called 911 and said his wife hit herself before taking off. The report states the wife returned and asked police to look at her face, which had a large bruised knot on the right side of her forehead. She attributed the injury to Cisneros punching her in the eye and forehead. Reached for comment, the woman told KSAT she had not asked police to look at her face and that the report was, quote, wrong and inaccurate. Cisneros told KSAT he did not hit his wife.
There was no physical altercation.
Still, officers believe they had enough to arrest Cisneros for misdemeanor family violence. The incident report, it's worth noting, makes no mention of Castillo, even though that was Cisneros' sole reason for calling police in the first place.
The report itself, it lacks so many details. So many details.
Cisneros' sister-in-law took pictures of his wife's messages with Castillo and told KSAT she later provided them and the phone itself to SAPD Internal Affairs.
It's all about protect, serve, do the job that you're assigned to do, nothing else.
A review of the messages by KSAT shows many of them were sent during Castillo's assigned work hours, Monday through Thursday, between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m., and while the officer was in close proximity to McManus. Castillo writing to Cisneros' wife at one point, expletive, wanted to touch her legs. After she replied, "You still can. I'm headed over there now," Castillo responded, "I'm still with Chief, but he might be done soon." Or this exchange, in which Castillo described a sex act with her, told her to make sure she erased the messages, and then revealed that McManus was about to walk out. SAPD officials refused to make Chief McManus available for an interview for this story, stating the complaint against Castillo is being investigated and that the department cannot comment on media inquiries that have not resulted in discipline. McManus, you may remember, rejected a recommendation to discipline another member of his security detail, Officer Robert Gonzalez Jr., after he admitted to a sexual encounter while in uniform with a woman while parked outside police headquarters in May 2021. Gonzalez was transferred out of the chief's office after the incident, according to the San Antonio Express-News, which first reported on the internal SAPD records last year.
He's not paying attention to what his officers are doing. You know, you lead from the front, you lead from the top, right?
Cisneros' misdemeanor arrest in San Antonio has complicated an 8-year-old aggravated assault case against him in Blanco County that involved a dispute with the sheriff's deputy there. A little over a year from completing probation in that case, Cisneros is now bracing for officials there to revoke his probation. According to his attorney, he faces up to a decade behind bars.
They wanted to protect Mark Castillo, and it made it easier to arrest my client. We have a police report now that puts my client at risk of possibly going to prison.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
Now, Castillo is still on the chief's executive protection detail. We've called and texted him for the story, but did not hear back. To date, there has been no official finding that he engaged in professional misconduct. There is precedent for SAPD officers being disciplined for sending inappropriate text messages. Officer Juan Bruno was suspended 20 days for sending text messages to a woman he met at a disturbance call. Right now, you can scan the QR code on your screen to read the KSAT Investigates full investigation. You can also find the story at ksat.com. A record-setting 4th of July weekend means more personnel is required to handle the influx. How leaders in Washington plan to get more aviation staff in the air. Next on the Nightbeat. The U.S. aviation workforce is handling more volume, and that requires more people. Nearly a week after TSA set a daily record for passenger screening, Karen Kafa reports a House subcommittee looked at new federal provisions aimed at boosting recruitment and retention at the aviation ranks.
Travel is soaring.
8 or 9 of the 10 busiest travel days ever have occurred since May 23rd of this year.
As passenger volume has rebounded from the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of essential aviation workers has lagged.
One of the biggest challenges we have right now is with ATC, air traffic control, and the controllers.
On Wednesday, aviation experts joined a House Aviation subcommittee to discuss how to implement safety and staffing provisions in the Federal Aviation Administration Reauthorization Act signed by President Joe Biden in May. That includes filling 3,000 vacancies among the nation's air traffic controllers.
Shortage of these vital members of the workforce have resulted in subpar experiences across the ecosystem of aviation.
The panel also highlighted obstacles for the next generation of pilots, especially training costs.
We need additional assistance filling in pay gaps, and students need assistance in funding their dreams of flight.
Katie Nastro of the travel website Going says despite the convergence of lingering staffing shortfalls versus heavy passenger traffic, air travel fared well during the busy July 4th stretch.
Coming out of one of the busiest time periods that we've seen on record, July 4th, and not seeing any mass cancellations or really significant delays by the airlines is a good sign that airlines are actually keeping pace.
But lawmakers planning for future stresses on the system.
This is just going to grow greater and greater
as passenger volume keeps climbing. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
So it's always easy to complain during summer because it's always hot and sweaty no matter what. But what makes it easier is when we compare to how terrible last year was.
Exactly. That's my question to all of you is, do you remember what you were doing this week last year?
Crying.
Guarantee it was probably something in the realm of trying everything that you can to stay cool. Take a look at high temperatures last year from July 14th to July 20th. There's a lot of pink on that map. We had day after day of triple digits. Here's your glass half full outlook on the upcoming week. While yes, we're still going to be in the upper 90s, it's still going to be hot out there, feeling like 100. You can see it is not expected to be anything like what we were dealing with 365 days ago. By the way, this year, so far year to date, here in San Antonio, we've seen 12 triple digit days this year. This time last year, we were already at 20 with way more on the way. As you can probably remember, 2023 broke the record for the highest number of triple digit days that we have seen in a given calendar year at 75. So thankfully, we're not expecting triple digits as of right now in the forecast this week. Something else, though, that we also look at very closely this time of year, as we all remember from this time even last week, the tropics. Happy to report the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Tropical cyclone activity is not expected over the next 7 days. And this is one of the biggest reasons why. There are a few different plumes of Saharan dust moving westward across the Atlantic basin and even through the Gulf of Mexico. Yesterday, we had a lot of cloud cover in place, so you likely didn't notice a whole lot of a haze in the sky, and even today as well. But believe it or not, we actually have had a light to moderate plume of Saharan dust passing across the south central Texas sky, expecting just a very light concentration throughout the day tomorrow before that starts to work on out of here, even more so into Tuesday. By the way, the latest in from the TCEQ, still not expecting a big notable hit in air quality, just in the moderate range for tomorrow, so that's good news there too. Other than that, 83 degrees right now here in San Antonio, feeling like 88 though, thanks to the moisture in place. Once again, KSAT 12-hour forecast for your Monday, starting off near 76 degrees for the morning drive, 89 by lunchtime, so already pushing 90 degrees if you have any lunchtime plans at noon. And then there's that high temperature near 96 officially in the Alamo City, 95 up in Kerrville, 93 in Rock Springs, 95 out east in Gonzales, nearing 100 degrees though out west in Del Rio. More of the same generally in store, just a 10% chance for a stray shower over the next 48 hours. We'll slightly bump that up to a 20% isolated chance on Wednesday. More of us than not still missing out there. And then Courtney, if we can see that weak front move into Texas Thursday and Friday, that's when we have our next best chance to find some isolated to scattered rain.
That would be so great. Just a little bit of consistency.
And slightly cooler temperatures.
We'll take it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Mia. Well, turning to the weekend box office, a new horror film threw a scare into the reigning champ. David Daniel has early estimates on the top 5 films in theaters. That's next on the Night Beat.
We need to shoot the backup version of the moon landing.
You mean to fake it?
Fly Me to the Moon opened in 5th place with a somewhat disappointing $10 million. A Quiet Place Day 1 made $11.8 million, landing in 4th place. Inside Out 2 took in $20.7 million for 3rd place and a domestic total of $573 million. The horror thriller Longlegs vastly exceeded expectations, opening 2nd with $22.6 million, a record debut for its distributor, Neon.
Once he's knocked out, we'll open the cage.
A 2nd straight weekend crown for Despicable Me 4, which earned $44.7 million for a 12-day domestic total of $211 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The Spurs Summer League team was looking to take down the Hawks Summer squad in Las Vegas tonight, and local NFL players gave back to the 210 this weekend. For more of what's on Instant Replay, here's Larry Ramirez.
Which is always cool, and it's cool for me because we get to reconnect with these guys.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of fun, right? So it's always great to see area football players come back to town and hold football camps coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
Oh, we're going to put them through some work now. We're going to have them, running around, doing what they got to do, and it's going to be exciting.
I mean, who doesn't love football? That's why we're all out here, because we love it. The parents love it more than the kids, but I'm trying to instill that love to them as well that I have.
Saturday morning, Judson and UTSA greats and Sarah McCormick held the youth football camp at DW Rutledge Stadium. And then this morning, former Reagan star athlete Ty Summers held his 5th annual football camp at Reagan High School. Both NFL players love giving back and inspiring the next generation of athletes.
Tremendous job. We get open shots, we take them. Keep taking them. Everything is about our defense. We get stops and we run. You guys are doing great defensively. We got to finish possessions.
That's Spurs Summer League head coach Kenny Trevino telling his guys what to do against the Summer League Atlanta Hawks. But rookie and 4th overall draft pick Stephon Castle did not play and is out for the rest of the Summer League with an injury. We've got the details for you. Plus, we've got Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, Dak's walking boot, the Copa America and Euro Cup final, as well as the battle for the silver boot, the missions, and a sliding throw 'em out play of the week. Instant replays coming up, Courtney, right after the night beat.
Worth sticking around.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Larry. And we'll be back right after this. Well, that's all our time for now. For all of us at KSAT 12, thanks for watching. Tune into GMSA for all your latest overnight news. An all-new Instant Replay starts right now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome live to a brand new edition of Instant Replay. The Spurs Summer League squad was going for back-to-back wins in Las Vegas, and the young squad got to chat with Spurs vets Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, who are in Sin City taking in the action.